Welcome to another podcast. I think this is podcast number 3 where I talk about the backside of the restaurant industry. I'm making bread like I do every morning, so it's the only time I have really in the day to have a chat with you guys. Today, here, let me set up my scale. Today we're going to talk about about choosing your customers in a restaurant. When you start, before you decide where you're going to build your business or what kind of menu you're going to have, I think it's very important to choose the clientele that you want. I'm not meaning like discriminating or something like that. I'm talking about the people that will come every day in your restaurant and be a good source of income. For example, in my area, we have a major science park here. There's a lot of engineering. We have a sales team as well, because pretty much in Taiwan, it's the biggest. If you have a cell phone or if you have a computer in your house, I reckon 95% of it is being made here in Taiwan in the chip factories in the science park. So for me, it made sense to target these people here. They're young people, engineer. My customers are between, let's say, 24 and 45, mostly females. So I chose my location and I built my menu according to the needs and taste, right? So if you're at the point where you're ready to invest and start a business, you're ready to work hard, it's important for you to decide, well, all right, what location can I afford? What are my competence in the kitchen? What kind of menu can I pull off? Do you target super rich people that requires more attention or easily more, dissatisfied because they're rich? You know what I'm talking about. Are you targeting, if you're near an apartment complex or like a gated community, do you target the people who live in there? For me, it's not a good idea, I reckon. It doesn't work for me. Too many housewives with nothing to do, and they come to the restaurant and then they want to be, because they're lonely and they just, they come out and they need more attention and they need it's just more complicated, more attention, and they're your best friend the first 5 minutes. Then after that, if you don't give them something for free, then they just turn on you. Not my kind of customers. I enjoy working with the more like business-oriented people in sales team, people engineering, people who have a career, people who try to go somewhere. These people usually have a better income source. Also, if you're near big companies, these companies have budgets to treat their employees when they have a good quarter, stuff like that. So if you get some engineers or professionals in your restaurant, when they have a staff party or something, they think of you, and it's always good for business to have these people on your side. Also, if you target people who work in large companies, like here, we're talking like large companies, like 30,000 people working in there. These people, if they're satisfied with your product, they talk to people, and these companies all have intranets where they review restaurants and do stuff like that. So you can spread the word fast. You can make or break a restaurant very fast with these companies. This is restaurant number 10. I've dealt with these companies for a long time, and usually they're good customers for me. After that, you have to decide, well, if these people are between 24 and 45, what kind of food do they want? Do these people travel? These are all questions you need to ask yourself. What kind of food do they like? What's their income? For example, I know that their income, in Taiwan, the salaries are not super high, but not super low. I know that their income, usually in Taiwan, people make about $1,000 a month to 1,500, and then if you get to management, maybe you make 2,000 to 3,000 a month. So my restaurant's cheapest price, like you can get a sandwich or salad for under $10, like a full set meal, and it can go all the way up to $30 for a ribeye steak, right? Maybe I'd say $36 with everything included on the menu. Plus then you add the alcohol, so you can jack your bill a little bit more, right? So I think it's very important to find out what these people want to eat, how much time they have to eat, yeah, how much time they have to eat, how much money they can spend, right? And I think, yeah, so before you, this is what I do every time I open a new location. I do this research, I see who's around me. Also, it will determine what you can afford and not afford. So like I was saying, it will determine what kind of location you need, where you need to be, what you can afford, what you can't afford, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. If you, for example, I'm downtown, there's a park in front of me. It's a very relaxed environment. Usually people enjoy going downtown after work or on the weekends. They walk in the park, and that brings me walking traffic. These are what I call my extra customers. A little bit outside of my main core foot traffic, so I paid a little bit extra for my location on this. Also, it's important that when you know what kind of customers you're trying to get or what kind of customers you're going to get, you build a menu in function of what they want. In this restaurant, 70% of my customers are females, so I try not to go too heavy, like greasy stuff, and my menu is all based pretty much on, every dish has bread basically. That's why I make bread every morning like this. I do a lot of salads. I have 5 or 6 salads on my menu. I do a lot of pastas because ladies love to eat pastas. They're not a big fan of heavy ribeye steak. I have a few steaks on the menu as well. For the men, the ribeye, and I use a fillet, like a 6 ounce, 8 ounce, 10 ounce for the ladies, with side dish like salad. So I built everything in function of that because I know that's what they want to eat. And also pricing is very important. People who go out for lunch don't have the same budget as people who go out for dinner. So as a rule of thumb for lunch here, I try to keep everything around $10, $12. Lunchtime is a different game because you don't really sell any alcohol, so it's not most profitable, but it's a good calling card for the evening. For example, if people come for lunch from a company and they enjoy your restaurant, they'll come back at dinner, like another day, of course, with their boyfriend or husband or family. So use lunch as a calling card for your customers. My restaurant, I made a choice a long time ago to close early because I did not want any drunk people in my restaurant. Drunk people bring a bad atmosphere. I'm more like a family oriented. I have toys for the children, as you've seen in the previous video. We're the place where you come for a drink before, a drink while you eat dinner or a drink before you go drink somewhere else. We're not a restaurant where you come here and spend 4 or 5 hours and just get smashed. It's not the kind of people I wanted here. It's another decision that you have to make. Closing late is not, I just don't like to deal with drunk people. It just makes me like, why am I doing this? This is not the best. Anyway, back to our things here. Another thing that you might want to make sure of is once you determine what kind of customers you have, make sure that you're not too close to the factory or like for example here it's called a science park. Make sure you're not too close to it because people when they're done working, they want to get out of there. They know they have to deal with traffic. So they don't really want to, I gotta put this here. They don't really want to deal with finding parking around their company and staying there for the evening. It's not interesting to them, or bring their family in because maybe there's a night shift traffic going in as well. So it's not really interesting for them. So, and make sure that you're near a place where people can do other activities, because if destination restaurants are great, but mostly they make money on the weekends. They're not big money makers during weekdays or lunch, right? So yeah, being next to a good transportation, it's also a good idea. And then make sure that, don't know how to say this. French is my first language, so sorry guys. Make sure that it's convenient, basically, right? Don't want to be too far from the major residential area, and you don't want to be too far in industrial park. And yeah, so anyway, I think that's, wait, I'm just gonna finish rolling this here, today's bread. Yeah, another thing I'll make a video about this, is how to advertise your restaurant to the people you want. There are many tools available for this. Pretty much I only use Facebook right now because it's better bang for your bucks. And also in choosing your customers, make sure that, well, not make sure, but it's a good idea to think about, like, for example, most of my customers are educated, they traveled, or they've been abroad, so they kind of know how the world works, and they want to sample new kinds of food. They don't want just to have like the usual like burger and fries or chicken nuggets, right? So make sure that you adapt your menu to that. That's going to be another video I'm going to make, is how to build your menu for the clientele that you want to have in your restaurant. Because if you're doing like some fine dining stuff and your customers are not used to it, you might get into trouble with that. Or again, if you do some fine dining stuff and you're charging out of their budget, you're pricing yourself out of the market, well, you're going bankrupt pretty fast. Anyway, word of advice, fine dining is the best way in the world to go bankrupt very fast. If you look how many restaurants, like even Gordon Ramsay goes bankrupt with his fine dining, or he has to call in more capital, more investment, or I think now he does it the right way. He just licenses his name, shows up 3 times a year. It's in his contract, actually. He shows up 3 times a year, gives his little pointers and idea, but he's not day-to-day anymore. As for us, if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure you're not opening a multi-corporation. You're pretty much tired of working for someone else, and you're thinking that a restaurant might be a good idea, or a natural evolution in your career to do something else. So I think I gave you something to think about. This is a little bit more labor intensive. These are burger breads, of course, because we make burger breads fresh as well. I don't like to buy bread from outside. It never tastes the way I want it. So yeah, that's gonna be that for that. We'll be back to baste the bread with an egg wash, and we'll finish on that. Be back in a second. So in conclusion, like I was saying before, there's a lot of homework to be done. Don't leave anything to chance. I've seen many people open restaurants in locations that were not suitable for them because they thought, well, I can go there, the rent is cheaper, but they went too far away from their customers. There's some people who just think, well, if I build it, they will come. That movie kind of screwed a lot of people up. People go where it's convenient. They don't go where it isn't. And as good as your food can be, if it's not convenient, if it's out of the way on a weekday, you're gonna suffer. You might do great on weekends, but on weekdays, you're gonna suffer. In the restaurant business, we say, weekends, you pay your bills. Weekdays, you make your money. And listen, 10 restaurants in, and I can confirm that that is true on the weekends, right? If you're nearly like, if you're not too far from everything on weekends, you can always pay your bills. You should be okay. And the other thing you need to think about is what you enjoy cooking or doing, or what is your specialty, might not be what the customers you chose to have really want. So you need to double check on this too first. I know a lot of people who build restaurants and then they say, well, my food is good, people will adapt and they will come, and they don't. People, they want what they want. Change is difficult, right? I don't know for you, but for me, like, if anything changes at first, like I feel like Clint Eastwood. I'm like, what's going on here? Why is everything changing around me? I feel like an old man. And most of the people are the same. Just think about it when Facebook does an upgrade or a new version, or a Chrome does a new version. It's like, why I like the old one better. I like the old one better. And so people don't like it. So things to be mindful about. And that's it for today. I'll see you in the next podcast. Have a good day or have a good evening. Up to you. Bye bye.